Welcome back to Pure Science Education. We will be looking at homeostasis and positive and negative feedback. Have you ever wondered how your body maintains its body temperature, or blood sugar level, or the amount of water in your body? How does the hormones get produced and get balanced in your body? Your body does lots of different things automatically. These are something called homeostasis. Homeostasis is where our body have a system in place to keep the internal conditions optimum for the cells to function normally at all times. So let's look at these different procedures. So first of all, I'm going to focus on the different positive and negative feedback. Let's look at an example of a negative feedback. Negative feedback is where there is a variable which has a counteract response. So this in this example, we're going to look at a change which is a stimulus, and then stimulus is a change in environment which gets detected by the receptors. So in this particular example, we're looking at body temperature. So if your body temperature falls, your blood vessels will contract, so the heat is conserved. The sweat glands do not create any fluids, so you do not sweat, and shivering occurs, which generates the body heat, and it causes the body to warm up. Your body then starts to get warm, and it retains the heat, and then you go to the normal body temperature. If your body temperature increases too much, then your blood vessels will dilate, resulting in the heat loss to the environment. Your sweat glands will produce fluid and sweat, and your blood vessels will get narrow, so you can allow heat to escape. So it's a balance which counteracts the response to maintain internal way the body temperature is controlled. Let's look at a different example where we're going to look at positive feedback. Positive feedback is an example where you intensify the feedback. So for example, if you are in labor, the more hormone is released, the more pressure will be built up, and the more contractions will occur to get the baby to be delivered. So in this diagram, the nerve impulses from the cervix transfers to the brain. The brain then stimulates to the pituitary gland to secrete oxytocin, which then goes into the bloodstream in the uterus where the baby will be developing. It then gets released into your uterines with the contractions occurring to push the baby out of the cervix. And finally, the head of the baby gets pushed out through the cervix. So this is where a positive feedback is occurring, where the variable has been intensified. So let's look at how positive and negative feedback. So their main job is to make sure the internal conditions of the body are stable at all times. A really important part of the curriculum is called Autocontrol system, which typically comes up in the GCSE exam. So if you was to look at a change in a stimulus, which is a condition which can be that you have put your hand on a pin or so on, so the receptors in your fingertips will then pick up that response. So if you put fingertips, these are receptors that then gets passed on to your control center, which compares the original fingertips to where it's been. The brain and the spinal passes information along the neurons in your body. The message then gets sent through the new messenger neuron into the effector. An effector is normally a gland or a muscle. In this case, it will be a hand, which will be then moved away from the pin, and then response is where you move in your hand. So this is homeostasis, which is really important for our body in order for us to remain working in a normal condition. Homeostasis also affects the pH of the body, so how acidic or alkaline is, which is really important for the enzymes in the body and hormones for them to function in a normal way. It controls the blood sugar level, which is hypoglycemia or glycemia, and it controls the internal body temperature, which is hot and cold. It controls your blood sugar level by producing insulin if you have too high or too little blood sugar level. So this is a very quick whiz through of homeostasis in our human body, including examples of positive and negative feedback. Thank you.